Cheers.
Catch Sherwin Gardner live in Sold Out on Saturday 6th June at the Magdalena Grand in Tobago and Sunday 7th at Napa Porta, Spain. Save $50 on tickets bought by Saturday 30th May. Available in Tobago, Cass Supermarket, Yachts Marketing, Orange Hill, Crosscutters, Scarborough, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands Mall, Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, Conby, Tobago. In Trinidad, Crosby St. James, All Extra Food Supermarkets, Simon's Music Supplies, Port Street, all Kenny's Sports Stores, Dominican Bookstore, St. Finbar's Compound, Napa Box Office, online at islandetickets.com. For more info, call 358-6397. Sherwin Gardner, Sold Out.
Time check, brought to you by BioStrath Immune with added zinc. Distributed by H&J Enterprises Limited.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambali.
I'm Ryan Beachu.
I'm Jovan Ravello with sports.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your weather report.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight.
You are not allowed to participate in public protest demonstrations within the curtilage of this place. That is, and we give a space of 500 meters.
Police move to clamp down on protests, publishing 15 no-protest zones, restricting demonstrations near key sites.
24 hours later, and no charges laid against yesterday's protesters. They remain in police custody.
TTPS urges the public not to prejudge Kaya Seeley investigation, confirming there's no legal restriction on her travel.
In sport, Hayley Matthews stars as West Indies women begin Ireland series with an 8-wicket win.
Well, it's another hazy, breezy, typical Caribbean day as a ridge is still holding firm. But the atmosphere may not stay completely quiet for much longer. Details on that and much more in the full forecast.
There are now 15 no-protest zones as the police service moves to clamp down on what it describes as rowdy public demonstrations in sensitive areas. Those locations include the Parliament, the Prime Minister's office, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
But questions persist over whether the restrictions, which came into effect yesterday, were specifically designed to shut down the Kaya Seeley demonstration in the capital. Akash Samru has more.
The Prime Minister has often said that these states of emergency are not geared towards suppressing free speech and movement. Here is Kamala Persad-Bissessa after Independence Day celebrations were cancelled last year, where she told CNC3 News that there are no restrictions on free movement and said people can have their own celebrations if they want. And here's the Prime Minister again in March of this year telling CNC3 News that the SOE was not designed to suppress protest, adding that she has repeatedly said that people are free to, quote, mash up and burn down the place if they want to, end quote. But while the police has confirmed protests are still allowed during the SOE, there's now a list of locations where protests are legally prohibited within 500 meters of their premises. Those 15 no-protest zones include the Parliament, the President's and Prime Minister's offices, government ministries such as Finance, Homeland Security and Defence, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. But what's interesting is that the legal notice barring protests from these areas is on a document dated May 27th, the same day of the planned Kaya Seeley protest. 24 hours after the protest at the Police Administration building, the list was now being announced to the public.
And it's really in a bid to protect you, our public, to protect our public spaces, to protect our citizenry at large.
Asked directly if these new restrictions were hurriedly put in place to stop the protest outside the DPP's office yesterday, DCP Benjamin said,
when these decisions are made, all right, it is made in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago. When we recognize that there are key areas, and again, you recognize that it's not just one area, even in the regulation, and even though it was not stated, you will see that it is key places.
The police commissioner was not at the press briefing, and CNC3 News reached out to him to ascertain why these regulations came out coincidentally on the same day of the protest that was announced in advance. Commissioner Alistair Guevara did not respond to our questions. Now, CNC3 News also tried to get responses from the Prime Minister and the Attorney General, but nothing from them either. Now, back to the TTPS briefing, and ACP Simon said people can protest, but quietly and without provoking the police.
You are having your silent protest, and we do not expect any loudspeakers and any loud interactions and instructions being given. We respect your right to protest. We continue saying that. We respect the right of persons to protest.
Asked why police did not try to stop the protest held by UNC members of the Superior Borough Corporation executive yesterday, Benjamin said there was a major difference compared to what happened in the capital.
There should be no chanting. We're saying that even in terms of the words, that it must not be inciting anything that would create that upheaval and violence, or even the actions that will cause that sort of a thing.
Up until news time, the legal notice with the no protest zones has not been published in the Gazette. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Owie Russell has defended the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service's handling of yesterday's protest outside the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
He's insisting officers acted within the law and exercised restraint despite growing public criticism over the arrests made during the demonstration. On the Morning Brew today, Russell criticized individuals who brought children into what he described as a potentially volatile environment.
Why would a parent take a young child in the middle of that? And we were speaking about child safety and child care last week. Isn't that a risk in that child's life? What if the officer, some called an emergency, had utilized tear gas?
The Prime Minister is applauding the police service for what she described as swift action in securing the DPP's office during yesterday's protest.
In a statement on social media today, Kamla Persad-Bissessa hailed the move, noting that it protected against what she described as intimidation, harassment and possible harm. She further accused the opposition, PNM and criminal elements of promoting lawlessness, hatred against police and racist rhetoric and mob intimidation tactics. She maintains that anti-police rhetoric could place officers and prosecutors in danger. More than a day after their arrest, protesters Alyssa Phillip, her mother Camille Carrasquero, and Jason De Silva remain in police custody this evening as charges have still not been laid against them. Phillip and Carrasquero were arrested as they staged a demonstration near the DPP's office on Richmond Street, while De Silva was arrested shortly before the protest began. CNC3 News was told that attorneys representing those detained would be available to provide a statement and an update on the situation by 3 p.m. today. However, no one was available to speak publicly on the matter up until news time.
Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling on the Prime Minister to end the state of emergency, accusing government of suppressing democratic expression following the arrest of protesters outside the DPP's office. Beckles said the country was drifting toward what she described as a police state. She criticized the Prime Minister for dismissing the protesters as people seeking attention and trying to provoke police into reacting violently. Beckles said the Prime Minister should return democracy by ending what she called a failed SOE and allowing people to protest peacefully. Beckles argued the actions of the police yesterday have created fear among citizens. Again, the opposition leader is calling on the Prime Minister to directly address the nation and added that no country can survive when peaceful citizens are treated like enemies of the state. And political leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, is also criticizing the Prime Minister over her response to yesterday's protest. In a statement today, Pandey described the PM's comments as extremely disappointing after protesters were labeled grifters and accused of publicity farming. Pandey says citizens have a right to raise concerns about crime and warned against creating division between the public and the police. She also argued that extending the state of emergency is not a substitute for a long-term anti-crime strategy, adding that mocking citizens will not make TNT any safer.
Strategic security consultant Dr. Gavin Hira is urging leaders to empathize first and legislate second. Dr. Hira responded to comments by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who criticized yesterday's protest. However, Dr. Hira cautioned against dismissing public demonstrations, saying citizens taking to the streets are sending a signal that leaders must carefully consider.
The invocation of emergency powers legislation, for instance, to restrict protest and the protects and rights is a measure that must always be applied with precision and transparency. Because the moment the public feels that law is being used as a tool of suppression rather than protection, we risk a far greater security challenge than any single protest.
Political analyst Dr. Winfred James felt the Prime Minister was trying to respond to public concerns while also allowing the police to do their job.
While the TTPS says its response was necessary to maintain order during recent protests, critics have questioned whether the use of force was appropriate. And
as the country seeks answers and accountability, we asked today, do you think the TTPS's response to yesterday's Kaya Sealy protest was warranted?
Yes, it was warranted because when the police don't protect and serve, we the citizens are complaining. They are just doing their job.
At the end of the day, the police have their job to do, and at least they should hear the civilian cry as well too.
I can't say fully that I agree with them in terms of arrest, in terms of apprehension, but I mean, I agree in terms of cautioning against if it is not legal, because I mean, under democracy, a protest action is not invalid. People can protest.
I don't think they have evidence of the girl to be charged.
So do you think the police action was justified?
Some of it sounds personal.
No, I don't think so. I think that people had real emotions and just expressing how they felt, so they just lash out.
No. Because the people protesting for their rights and the constitutional rights. So why arrest somebody if they're protesting for the constitutional rights? That's the people's rights. They're voicing their concerns.
Still to come in the news, charges laid after a viral Arima police confrontation video. Couple granted bail as police maintain the officer's firearm accidentally discharged during the struggle.
Father of young man tragically killed by reversing garbage truck demands justice. The Prime Minister was moved by the death.
Coming up in sport, TNT Volleyball Federation President touts the sport's growing financial independence ahead of Super League final weekend.
Extra, read all about it.
We are more than headlines, more than stories on a page.
The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper, your favorite national newspaper, is relaunching its community features section with one major focus in mind.
It's all about we Trinis.
We life and culture.
We heritage.
We health.
We food. We music.
We community.
We men.
We women.
We kids, yay!
Everything we love and adore. We are every part of Trinidad and Tobago. And now, We is a space where every reader sees themselves reflected. Introducing We, The Guardian's bold new celebration, a magazine dedicated to irresistible stories and features that celebrate the very best of Trini life. Our stories, our culture, our life.
While Kaya Sealy remains out of the country seeking medical attention, the police service says it is not labeling her a fugitive. Acting Police Commissioner Kurt Simon said while a warrant has been issued for Seeley's arrest, the TTPS has no serious concerns about her appearing before the court to answer the matter. He also called on the public to exercise patience and trust in the justice system as the case continues to attract public attention.
Fugitive is an English word, and it could connote many things. However, there's a warrant for Kaya Seeley. And I don't know what the perception of fugitive might be, but a warrant means that the police can arrest you at any time, at any place when we encounter you.
Simon also noted that there are no laws preventing a person under investigation from leaving the country. However, when CNC3 News asked about an extradition request, he said he was unable to comment. Meanwhile, Deputy Police Commissioner Junior Benjamin is urging the public not to prejudge the case, stressing that the case is now before the courts. Benjamin said the TTPS followed established procedures during the investigation and noted that actions taken by police were based on guidance from the DPP.
It is before the courts. The courts will hear this matter, and what we are asking persons to do is not to prejudge the matter. We are asking that we allow, you understand, due process to take place, and as due process takes place, everything will work itself out in terms of the court of law.
Asked if more charges are to be laid against Seeley or any police officers, Benjamin said that's not up to the TTPS.
He also addressed concerns about public confidence in the police service, saying the TTPS recognizes the importance of transparency while continuing efforts to build trust.
A criminal defense attorney, Farid Ali, says there's no problem in allowing Kaya Seeley enough time to receive medical treatment, even if she's sought by the TTPS for criminal charges. Ali said while the circumstances behind the current situation was unique, once Seeley could provide proof that she's in urgent need of medical care and is at a fixed location where she could be found.
When she asks for time in order to present herself, in terms of the criminal justice system, we have persons who are at large for many years and their warrants out for their arrest and they can't be found. What is unique about this is she is presenting herself and saying, hey, I am here. I am addressed, I'm living at this address, I'm in the United States. So it's not that she's hiding from them.
Referring to protests generated in the wake of the shooting, Ali was critical of the police's approach to the investigation, noting that revealing key details months after an incident was not reassuring to the public. Archbishop Jason Gordon is warning that extrajudicial killings are a sign of a society going off course. But the head of the Roman Catholic Church says people must be careful to distinguish between an extrajudicial killing and other police-involved shootings. Gordon made the comments during an upcoming edition of The Big Interview set to air in the coming weeks. His remarks follow protests over the police-issued warrants for Kaya Seeley in connection with the death of her boyfriend Joshua Samaru. The Archbishop also said concerns over police shootings are not new to Trinidad and Tobago.
Extrajudicial killing is always a litmus test of a society gone rogue. Because when the police become part of the gang mentality, we have a problem. On the other hand, you can't just assume that when something went wrong between a policeman and a citizen, that it is an extrajudicial killing. I think that's a case where the law has to prevail.
Gordon also weighed in on the investigation taking place into Holy Name Convent principal Sister Renee Hall. It comes after public comments alleged emotional distress and mistreatment by current and former students.
The first thing is there a credible accusation? And if there's a credible accusation, our response is always, let's step back, let's look at it in the cold light of day, and let's make an assessment of what needs to happen to go forward, which is what we've done. The team that is doing the investigation is a very senior group of people who will do this in a very deep, profound, and in a way serving justice.
Gordon says if people have been hurt, there must be healing. But he awaits the report of the group investigating the matter before any action can be taken.
Questions continue over a viral confrontation between police and a Diego Martin couple in Arima after an officer's firearm was discharged during the encounter.
Now, both individuals seen in the video have been charged and granted bail, while police maintain the weapon went off accidentally during the struggle.
Pleasant good morning, ma'am. Please be informed by being recorded by body cam and no parking area.
The woman and man seen in a viral confrontation with police in Arima, during which an officer's firearm was discharged, have now both been charged and granted bail. And the officer at the center of it all claims that the gun went off accidentally during the confrontation. 38-year-old Catriana Rezende of Diego Martin has been charged with assaulting a police officer, disorderly behavior, resisting arrest, dangerous driving, and careless driving. She was granted $80,000 bail. Her husband, 39-year-old Manuel Rezende, was charged with disorderly behavior and obscene language. He was granted $30,000 bail. In a statement, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said officers were on patrol along Susano Street in Arima when they observed a vehicle parked in a no-parking zone. Police officers approached the vehicle to issue a fixed penalty notice, but the driver allegedly refused to comply with instructions and attempted to drive away. According to the TTPS, WPC Hamid feared for her safety and drew her firearm, keeping it pointed downward. Police say after the driver eventually complied, the officer attempted to reholster the weapon when it accidentally discharged during the struggle. The incident, captured on police body camera footage and widely circulated on social media, sparked intense public debate over the officer's actions. Yesterday, the head of the Police Social and Welfare Association confirmed that the firearm discharge remains under active investigation. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service says it supports the use of body cameras, as Deputy Police Commissioner Junior Benjamin revealed that steps are now being taken to bring body cams into service. This comes amid continued public concerns over police shootings, accountability, and public trust in law enforcement.
Last week, we had a notice of interest placed on, I think, the papers. So we are seeking to at least have the first stage in really getting the whole information in terms of the procurement process. And it is our intention to see how we can address that, as soon as possible.
When CNC3 News asked for a timeline of the procurement process, no response was provided. At the start of the year, Benjamin told CNC3 News there were 180 usable body cameras. CNC3 News reached out for an update on what that figure today is. We were told just about 120 body cams are active at the moment.
The family of 20-year-old Deshaun Joseph is demanding justice after he was crushed by a garbage truck on Tuesday. Joseph's father, Sean Blackburn, says his son would have been alive had the driver been more careful. Joseph had jumped off the rear of the truck and was collecting garbage when it was reversing when he was struck and run over. The family is now calling for a proper investigation, describing him as an ambitious young man who worked hard and was excited about becoming a father. His girlfriend is 4 months pregnant. The father, who had just returned from the Forensic Science Center, says his focus is now on burying his son, but insists that CCTV footage of the incident speaks for itself.
My son, good youth man, will work well hard. And that when that man do this, that man murder my son. That man could have been more careful. Anybody see that video would know that man killed my son. You understand what I'm saying, brother? And that is about it. That's all I can say.
Joseph's twin sister, Shanice, did not want to speak on camera, but says her family is devastated.
If I do that soul, anybody could walk around and ask for my son in here. All in the village, when I go on to check out my son, there are people talk good about my son inside here. My son will never know bad for that boy. Real love in his heart. And to see this man kill my son like a dog, so.
In an interview that surfaced online, the driver insisted it was an accident, saying Joseph was not supposed to jump off the truck while it was moving.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is expressing condolences following Joseph's tragic end.
In a statement today, the Prime Minister said she was saddened by the teenager's death. The Prime Minister noted that Joseph leaves behind a pregnant girlfriend and described the incident as heartbreaking, adding that the young man had been working to provide for his family.
Jet ski operators will be allowed to operate in the Bucca Reef Marine Park, but under strict conditions imposed by the court. At a virtual hearing today, Justice Shirlyn Pierce said she intends to grant an injunction to the Tobago House of Assembly while ruling that the Assembly failed to establish that operators were trespassing. The judge noted the absence of a clear policy governing the use of that area. The court ordered several restrictions for jet ski operators, including a ban on touting at Pigeon Point Heritage Park, no entry into the Nyland Pool, speed limits, and the maintenance of a safe distance from the shorelines. The specific distance requirement is expected to be finalized tomorrow. The injunction comes 7 weeks after 7-year-old Angelica Jogi was struck and killed by a jet ski at Pigeon Point Beach. Let's check in with Sigoni to see what's coming up in the weather.
Coming up after the break, find out what an approaching tropical wave could mean for Trinidad and Tobago's weather and why marine users need to stay alert.
Hey, man. Where are you? Okay. He said 5 minutes. Anyone want dessert? Maybe he's stuck at the office?
Surprise!
Not yet, Carl.
Bro. I'm literally at the altar right now.
Relax. I'm almost there.
We're like the friend who isn't always late.
You have the rings.
CG United. Good like that.
KC Ginger Mint, your trusted and natural wellness. Now with healthier options. KC Ginger Mint with honey and lime. KC Ginger Mint with orange and KC Ginger Mint with lemon. KC Ginger, honey, lemon, lime, and orange. Natural and trusted for generations for soothing sore throats and digestion and boost immunity. Get your new KC Candy Ginger Mint extended range today and breathe naturally.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. Bishop Angelo here, inviting you to join myself and the team in our Day of Victory Crusade on May the 31st at 5 p.m. It will be at our Temple of Restoration located at 12 Endeavor Road in Chaguanas. For more information, call the number on your screen. Come and join us, and your life will no longer be the same.
Backed by popular demand, Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguana, Champlain, and Gulfview, where the saving never stops. Spend $500 or more, and you can choose one of these free giveaways: a gallon twist juice, a gallon bleach, or 5-liter vinegar. And hear this, the savings keep getting bigger and better. Spend $1,000 or more, and choose one of these amazing free giveaways: a hibiscus 10-kilogram flour, or 8 kilograms ground rice. So come and save big with Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguana, Champlain, and Gulfview. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
There are close to 60 Cuban medical professionals still working in this country. This was revealed by the Cuban ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago.
For months, CNC3 News has been trying to get information on the status of the Cuban medical program from Health Minister Dr. Lacram Bodo.
The Cuban Medical Brigade may be stalling in other Caribbean countries, but nearly 60 Cuban doctors and nurses are powering ahead with their work in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a question Health Minister Dr. Lacram Bodo has long evaded.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
But in a sit-down interview on Thursday, Ambassador Gustavo Daniel Veliz Olivares revealed the Cuban Medical Brigade in this country marches on across the public health sector.
We have 59 persons, nurse in general, in all regions of Trinidad and Tobago.
Established in 2003, the Cuban Medical Program sees Cuba deploy tens of thousands of healthcare workers abroad to provide medical services, establish clinics, and train local students. But the United States categorizes the program as forced labor and modern-day human trafficking, citing reports that the Cuban state retains the vast majority of doctors' salaries and restricts their freedom of movement.
This is a false accusation. They don't have even any reason to say that.
CNC3 News asked Dr. Lakram Bodo if the program in this country is winding down and if there are plans to renew it when it expires in 2027. We await his response. But with the program under mounting U.S. pressure and diverging diplomatic views, Olivares insists there is room for Trinidad and Tobago and Cuba to continue working together, be it in the restoration of public buildings or even Cuban nurses working in the private healthcare system locally. It comes as Cuba's economy and society strain under a U.S. blockade. 20-hour blackouts and a food crisis grip the Caribbean nation, and its longest CARICOM partner has distanced itself from a statement condemning U.S. aggression.
How do you interpret it, though, Port of Spain's decision not to be a signatory to that statement?
I prefer, as I say a couple of minutes before, I prefer, please allow me to refrain to make a commentary about it.
Olivares says he enjoys normal and good communication with the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers. We asked Sobers about this country's position on the U.S. blockade and why it reserved its stance in the CARICOM statement. We await his response. The U.S. blockade is pushing Cuba to the brink, and Olivares feels it is not a matter of if, but when this situation explodes. Sigoni's back. Sigoni, what can we expect in the weather?
Well, we're talking hurricane season and some more data is out. So let's take a look at what's happening there because hurricane season, the Atlantic hurricane season, is just about 3 days away. And what we're noticing is that the likely outcome from everyone, all of the forecast models are saying the same thing. It's a below normal season. And when we talk about below normal, you're looking at the average for any typical season. And this is what's being forecast now. The latest coming out from the National Hurricane Center and even right here in the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology, the CIMH, coming in with figures at 12 named storms, of which 5 could become hurricanes and 2 becoming major hurricanes. So it's right in there with what an average season would be like, but below the normal expectancy. So we're in for a relatively quiet season, but there are still risks and threats that we need to look out for because it's also going to be a dry start and even a delayed start to the hurricane season in terms of looking out for rainfall and activity. And a lot of that activity will be occurring anywhere between August, September, and October in this forecast period, which is coincidentally the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, those months in particular. So we'll see what happens. Only time will tell what the weather will bring. Right now, what we do know is that we have tropical wave activity. It's impacting Guyana at this time, so it's going to move westward. Will it be enough to impact Trinidad and Tobago? Honestly, not so much. We have so much Saharan dust haze present. It's really stifling any kind of cloud formation in the general area, so we're not seeing a lot of action. What we are also monitoring is an area just over into the western portion of the Caribbean, into the Gulf Coast, into the next couple of days. By the end of May into early June, we could see some activity there. Whether it develops or not is yet to be seen, but it could bring some rainfall for those areas in the west. Other than that, for Trinidad and Tobago in particular tonight, not a lot to talk about. Still hazy, still breezy out there, and the temperatures still warm as the evening progresses. Lows dip down to the mid-20s. Into tomorrow's outlook, we stay wickedly warm. Highs approaching 33 degrees Celsius if you're in Trinidad, 31 getting up to 32 degrees if you're in Tobago, and we'll see that again. Mixture of sunshine, cloudiness, the dust haze, really making that dull, gloomy look for us in the sky, and not a lot of showery activity. If we do get it, it's going to be few and far in between. In terms of what's happening offshore, no significant change here in the general forecast. forecast, winds pushing from an east-northeast to east-southeasterly direction, and our waves are holding steady between 1 meter in the sheltered areas and 2.5 meters in the open water areas. So take note where that is concerned. The big player here is spring tide. It's in effect. Look out for the abnormal highs and lows if you're heading out there, and exercise extra caution.
All right, thank you so much, Sigoni. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Tired of seeing forehead lines every time you look in the mirror? Get your anti-wrinkle forehead patch today. For smoother looking skin, more confidence, and less wrinkles. Just apply before bed and let the patch do the work overnight. Discover smoother, firmer skin with Bee Sculpt Firming Cream. Powered by nourishing honey, this anti-aging moisturizer tightens and firms while deeply hydrating dry, rough skin. Watch fine lines fade away as your skin feels softer, smoother, and stronger. Available at Pennywise stores, pharmacies, and all modern Caribbean branches.
It's Super Month End Savings, only at Possad's The Food King. Incredible deals on Santa Rosa Vienna Sausage, 4 tins, now $20. Golden Brand Margarine Stick, to 25 grams, 3 packs, now $20. Guiltless Yum Yogurt, 4 tubs, now $20. More wow deals on Sierra Chicken Frats, 3 packs, now $20. Happy Charming Noodles, rolled or fine, 340 grams, 3 packs, now $20. Lucozade Energy, 360 ml, 2 bottles, now $20. Fresh Harvest Chana and Brine, 3 tins, now $20. More super savings on Moo low-fat evaporated milk, 250 ml, 4 packs, now $20. Lucy Tuna Flakes in water and oil, 4 tins, now $20. Cataly Tomato Ketchup, 3 packs, now $20. Sale ends June 7th or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. We're here to stay. The Food King Possad's.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Living with diabetic neuropathy is exhausting. The burning pain and tingling that won't go away? Introducing Myolaxin D Gel, made for pain relief. Fast absorbing, non-greasy, and easy to apply. Its carbomer gel formula delivers relief deep at the nerve level. Oleoresin capsicum helps reduce pain signals, while diclofenac eases inflammation. Menthol and camphor provide fast, soothing comfort, so the pain eases and comfort returns. Size doesn't matter. This 15-gram tube gives you maximum relief. Myolaxin D Gel, available at pharmacies nationwide.
Panadol's new formula, 5 times faster than other paracetamol brands. There's no time to waste during special moments. When I need fast pain relief, I choose Panadol Rapid. With its new formula and exclusive technology, it's 5 times faster than other paracetamol, giving me effective pain relief. And it's also gentle on my stomach. Because my greatest gift is giving them special moments.
The Health Ministry says the Eastern Regional Health Authority is at this time actively managing several suspected cases of chickenpox.
It has been identified among healthcare workers at the Sangre Grande Hospital campus. Exposed staff members as well as frontline workers are being prioritized for a targeted vaccination drive. Health education and sensitization sessions are being conducted with hospital staff. The ministry adds that there is no indication of widespread community transmission associated with these cases and that the situation remains under close surveillance. Healthcare services continue to operate as normal. In tonight's Business Watch, there is expectation that the Caribbean banking landscape is set to change as Butterfield announces plans to acquire the majority stake of CIBC Caribbean Bank.
Meanwhile, a local company is eager to teach potential investors how to buy shares for its initial public offering. Peter Christopher has more.
Bermuda-based Bank of N.T. Butterfield & Son Limited has agreed to acquire CIBC's 91.7% interest in CIBC Caribbean Bank Limited. Butterfield notes CIBC's history of serving Caribbean communities and believes the deal will create a leading banking and wealth management platform in the Caribbean with approximately US $29 billion in assets. Arthur Lockjack Global School of Business CEO Mariana Brown believes the move could shake up banking in the region.
This is really a change in Butterfield's positioning and business positioning, because it now picks up both a retail and a business portfolio which spans the entire gamut of the region and probably could make it the biggest bank in the region.
Meanwhile, experienced bank executive Robert LaHunt says the move is not surprising as CIBC has been exploring avenues to exit the Caribbean for some time.
The fact with CIBC wanting to leave and Butterfield having a good brand name within the region, right? So that's fine. I mean, any acquisition is never, or a takeover is always not an easy thing on all sides. I mean, customers, for example, will need to get involved with a new culture.
Just over a week after launching its initial public offering, West Indian Traders Limited is set to host a webinar on Friday to encourage potential investors. The IPO was launched on May 18th in partnership with NTB Merchant Bank Trinidad and Tobago as lead broker and arranger. The session on Friday will provide detailed insights into the IPO, answer questions and guide investors through the application process with NTB officials on hand to guide first-time investors. Shares of the El Socorro-based company are being offered at TT $2 each with a minimum purchase of 50 shares. The IPO is set to close on June 5, 2026. Staying in El Socorro, global kitchen and bath product manufacturer Kohler has expressed its interest in the region after it opened a new 206 square meter premier showroom in the area last Friday. The opening of the showroom was done through a strategic partnership between Kohler and CW Interiors that aimed to strengthen the brand's presence in the Caribbean. Natalie Gold, who was brought on as a consultant to design the location, says people around the world are investing more in their homes. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Peter Christopher, CNT3 Business Watch.
Jovan joins us now for a look at sport. Jovan?
Thanks, Ria. Now, head coach Darren Sammy expects the West Indies men's team to force their way into automatic one-day World Cup qualification. And the senior men's national team has landed safely in Utah ahead of Saturday's South Korea test. Sport is up next.
Backed by popular demand, Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguana, Champlain, and Gulfview, where the saving never stops. Spend $500 or more, and you can choose one of these free giveaways: a gallon twist juice, a gallon bleach, or 5-liter vinegar. And hear this, the savings keep getting bigger and better. Spend $1,000 or more, and choose one of these amazing free giveaways: a hibiscus 10-kilogram flour, or 8 kilograms ground rice. So come and save big with Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguana, Champlain, and Gulfview. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Excuse me, sir, drop this.
Biostrat food supplements for vitality and well-being.
You now reach out.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. Bishop Angelo here, inviting you to join myself and the team in our Day of Victory Crusade on May the 31st at 5 p.m. It will be at our Temple of Restoration, located at 12 Endeavor Road in Chaguanas. For more information, call the number on your screen. Come and join us, and your life will no longer be the same.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Welcome back. It's time for sport. Hayley Matthews scored an unbeaten 82 to guide West Indies to an 8-wicket win over hosts Ireland today in Dublin. The Windies women chased a modest 104, with Matthews dominating the innings from the first over. Ian Wason has more.
West Indies coach Shane Dietz couldn't ask for more after getting the all-round team performance he called for. With a cork, West Indies was a persistent thorn in the Irish side, with 9 bowlers used. Only a 44-run partnership between captain Ola Prendergast, who scored 25, and Leopold, who scored 21, provided resistance to the onslaught, as it took the score from 23 for 3 and took the Irish to 67 for 4. West Indies had 6 different wicket takers, but it was Kiana Joseph who led, taking 3 wickets in 1 over to help bowl Ireland out for 103 in 17 overs. Joseph finished with 3 for 8. West Indies in reply lost Leandra Dutton for 3 and Joseph for 6, but skipper Hayley Matthews took the bull by the horn. The Barbadian struck 11 fours and 3 sixes as she scored 82 runs from just 44 balls. West Indies had no problems in getting to 104 for 2 in only 11.3 overs, achieving the target in only 48 minutes to start the Tri-Nation Series with a win, with which Coach Dietz was pleased.
We obviously want to win games, but we're here to work on a few things and prepare for the World Cup, so there's a lot of positive signs we saw today and what we're looking for, and obviously a few things we need to work on as well, but pretty good hit out, and yeah, always good to get a win.
They play Pakistan on Friday. The team will proceed to the T20 World Cup in England straight from Ireland. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Meanwhile, the West Indies men will face Sri Lanka in 3 ODIs starting next Wednesday in Jamaica. And Darren Sammy is hoping his team can continue its good run at home with one eye on the 2027 ODI World Cup qualification.
The cutoff point for the World Cup qualification is 10 months away, and as of now, it doesn't look good for West Indies. The Caribbean cricketers are currently outside of the top 9 teams in the ODI rankings, who will be guaranteed qualification to the tournament. West Indies is currently 10th on the ranking, 700 points behind Bangladesh. That makes every ODI series and every ODI match starting next week in Jamaica against Sri Lanka very important to the men in maroon. But head coach Darren Sammy is confident the home team has what it takes to get past the Asians.
You know, our spinners been able to take wickets in the middle. Our same fast bowlers in Jaden Sales, Azari Joseph, Shumar Joseph, they've contributed with getting wickets up front and putting pressure on the opposition. But the most important thing is the way our batsmen have come out in our conditions and scored big runs. You know, every series I think we've had 1 or 2 hundreds. Somebody scoring hundreds in the games at home.
West Indies had shown flashes of brilliance in the past with Shea Hope and Casey Carty among the world leaders in runs last year, but Sammy wants more.
I want us to be consistent, you know, be consistently brilliant, you know, create those opportunities where we are on the winning side, the winning end of those moments that we create.
Regional selectors are yet to name the team to face Sri Lanka in 3 ODIs at Sabina Park, but whatever team is picked, they have the job of climbing the rankings. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Thanks, Ian. Now, switching pitches, locally based members of this country's senior men's national football team have assembled in Salt Lake City, Utah, ahead of Saturday night's international friendly against South Korea at Brigham Young University's South Field. The players and staff were immediately greeted by those based overseas, including first-time call-ups Ali Kazim Nakid, Jacob Green, and Kieran Engemwa. Saturday's match is the Tigers' penultimate warm-up before the World Cup. The Warriors then play Russia in Russia on June 9th. The Russians, like the Warriors, will not participate in this year's World Cup. Now, Trinidad and Tobago Volleyball Federation President Damian Stewart admits the federation needs to become self-sufficient. On today's Morning Shot, Stewart revealed that the ongoing Super League has been self-sustaining to the benefit of the clubs involved. However, he noted that the Volleyball Federation needs money to fulfill athletes' basic needs.
The athletes are correct. They're getting those that are exposed to international volleyball. They're making demands that is real, is realistic. You know, you need the physiotherapists in training, you need the best facilities, you need the things available for your athletes. It costs money. We need to make the money.
The Volleyball Super League goes into the men's quarterfinals on Saturday at the National Cycling Velodrome. The men's and women's semi-finals and finals are on Saturday and Sunday at the same venue. Now, it's exactly 2 weeks before the footballing world's attention turns to North America, but at least one nation is already sweating. Here's more. With 14 days before the start of the most wonderful time of every 4 years, Neymar Jr. has suffered a setback, a grade 2 calf injury, which is likely to sideline the veteran forward for 2 to 3 weeks. Neymar's latest Brazil call-up came with great fanfare and excitement. Brazil's top scorer learned he was selected for a 4th World Cup on May 18th, 1 day after sustaining the injury on Santos duty in a 3-0 defeat to Coritiba. The 34-year-old is now expected to miss Seleção's warm-up friendlies against Panama and Egypt. His participation in Brazil's Group C opener against Morocco at New York, New Jersey Stadium on June 13th is now far from certain. Brazil will also play Haiti on June 19th and Scotland on the 24th to complete their group stage program. And in some trivia, Spain holds the World Cup record for the most successive penalties scored in games. That record stands at 14 from 1934 to 2006. Jose Iraragorri began the streak in 1934. It continued way into the 90s with Pep Guardiola and ended with David Villa in 2006. In fact, La Roja finally spurned a World Cup spot kick 76 years after first taking one at South Africa 2010. Villa himself guilty, stroking the ball wide against Honduras to deny himself a hat-trick. By contrast, the Iberians have lost 4 of their 5 shootouts in the competition. They only win from the spot coming in 2002 against the Republic of Ireland. Back at home, Mona Campus's fine form across various sporting disciplines at the 2026 UB Games continued when they won the women's hockey title and put on some impressive performances on the track. Caston Cupid brings us some highlights.
The Hayes Crawford Stadium was buzzing with action as athletes competing for their respective campuses left it all on the track. And this was none the more evident when the women's 200-meter final came around, going right down to the wire.
3, 2, and 4 as they put away, trying hard there and running, but it's going to be twisted. Can St. Augustine get there? St. Augustine is trying. St. Augustine can win it. St. Augustine just misses out.
Actually, she didn't. The photo finish proving that UWI St. Augustine campus Faith Sylvan took the title in a photo finish of 25.70 seconds. Mona's Hannah Bell had to settle for silver, just 0.02 of a second behind, and her teammate Saffron Lyons took the bronze in 25.86. The men's 200 meters, however, was a timed final. Mona campus Kyle Richards flew out the blocks and ran a sizzling 21.36 seconds, with Kevon Newton of Cave Hill behind him in 21.79. Well, that was only good enough for second and third. As the winner came from the other heat, it was a commanding performance in lane 8 from Kyle Serrett. Also representing Mona Campus, 21.33 was his winning time, snatching the goal. In the 4x4 relays, Mona cruised to the women's title in 4 minutes, 32.84 seconds, ahead of Cave Hill and Global Campus. On the men's side, it was a much closer affair, but Mona was again the winner in 3 minutes, 21.17 seconds, with St. Augustine in second and Cave Hill third. Yesterday at the National Hockey Centre, Mona in the red and white took on the blue of St. Augustine in the women's final. The two were engaged in a fierce battle, and Mona from the penalty corner thought they got the go-ahead, but it didn't count. The shot came from outside the area. The girls in the blue also had a couple of chances but failed to score, and so it went to a shootout to decide the winner. The Jamaican-based campus held their nerve, converting twice, while St. Augustine struggled. 2-1 the final score, sparking wild celebrations from Team Mona. Caston Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
Now a top seed gets toppled at Roland Garros in tonight's Sport High.
The unseeded Juan Manuel Cerundolo down 2 sets to the top seed Yannick Sinner. Well, he had no scare in the world. He clawed his way back point by point to produce the shock of the tournament thus far. Yes, the Argentine really dug deep. So Cerundolo, for coming out victorious after staring defeat in the eye, you earn tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
And that's it for sport.
Thank you so much, Jovan. Let's take another break. Stay with us right here on CNC3.
Legends need to be celebrated while they can still hear the applause. Trinidad and Tobago, let's show our appreciation for this Calypso giant in Thank You, David.
Calypso.
Saturday, June 6th at Napa, Port of Spain. Sunday, June 7th at Sapa, San Fernando.
2 nights, 1 legend, countless unforgettable songs.
Celebrating King David in his presence and performing some of his many hits include Roger George, KV Charles, Christon Joseph, Terry Lyons, Adrian Filbert, Irvin Alves, Chuck Gordon.
Special guests for Napa is Super Bandman, Dane Gulston, and the Lydian Singers.
Special guest for Sapa is world record holder Joshua Regrillo and the Southern Air Choir. MC Sonny Bling.
Tickets bought by this Saturday, 30th May, cost $25 less. If stocks last. For more info, call 491-1802.
Thank you, David.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus. Your heart deserves better.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
In every room, Vision sets the standard. For a limited time only, get your progressive transition lenses with an anti-reflective coating, designer frames, and eye exams. Starting at $16.50, only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Catch Sherwin Gardner live in Sold Out on Saturday 6th June at the Magdalena Grand in Tobago and Sunday 7th at Napa Port of Spain. Save $50 on tickets bought by Saturday 30th May. Available in Tobago, Cass Supermarket, Yachts Marketing, Orange Hill, Crosscutters, Scarborough, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands Mall, Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, Conby, Tobago. In Trinidad, Crosby St. James, All Extra Food Supermarkets, Simon's Music Supplies, Port Street, all Kenny's Sports Stores, Dominican Bookstore, St. Finbar's Compound, Napa Box Office, online at islandetickets.com. For more info, call 358-6397. Sherwin Gardner, Sold Out.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured, so call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
Welcome back. A Trinidadian has been appointed as the Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court.
Justice Margaret Price Finley acted in the role for over a year before she was officially appointed during a ceremony at the court's St. Lucia headquarters earlier today. Price Finley's appointment came almost 17 years after she joined the court, which serves 6 independent countries and 3 British overseas territories. Price Finley delivered an emotional address in which she paid homage to her relatives and mentors who died and could not celebrate the achievement with her. She said that she never thought that she would hold the post when she started her career in the British Virgin Islands decades ago.
If anyone had told me when I arrived in the BVI in January of 1991 that I would today stand before you as the Chief Justice of this venerable institution, and only the second woman to hold this office, I would certainly not have believed you.
Congratulations to her. Price Finley called upon her fellow judges and support staff to work together to preserve the court's legacy.
Let's go now to our photo of the week. And at first glance, this stunning scene looks like it was taken somewhere in India. But this moment was captured right here in Trinidad at the Marianne River in Blanchisseuse. The breathtaking image taken last Sunday by Guardian photographer Edison Budu Singh shows devotees gathering for the sacred Hindu festival of Ganga Dara, known as one of the world's oldest river festivals. The ceremony honors Ganga Mata, the Hindu water goddess, dressed mostly in yellow. Devotees enter the river to offer prayers, immerse a murti of Ganga Maya, and release hundreds of yellow buttercup flowers along with diyas in coconut shells. The image is filled with color, light, and devotion, beautifully capturing the spirit of the holy celebration. And while the final photo is stunning, another image by Scully Photography shows what it took to get the perfect shot. It captures Edison in action, partially submerged in the river, completely locked into his craft, in pursuit of the moment that would become our photo of the week. All right, well, as we leave you, let's remind you to stay connected with us on our social media platforms.
There you'll find tonight's stories, the latest updates, and exclusive content. And don't forget to pick up a copy of the TNT Guardian newspaper.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambley.
I'm Ryan Beachu.
I'm Jovan Ravello.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed. Have a good night.
You're watching CNC3.